अन्यमाने शरीरे भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तया बद्धचेतसा व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धि समाधिना विधीयते. So last time when we were discussing the second chapter, we had seen, if we have to just revise the sections we have completed, the first 10 shlokas which describes Arjuna's further doubt, the last doubt. What is that doubt? The last argument which Arjuna gives to not fight, which comes in this chapter.
What I will get after killing my kinsman, like I will not, loss of enjoyment.
Yeah, those arguments were well explained in the first chapter. But in this chapter, the fifth reason is explained, which is indecision. So that's the fifth one which comes, and after which Arjuna submits himself as disciple, asking Krishna to take the role of spiritual master. And after which Krishna starts speaking. The first knowledge he speaks is about the difference between body and soul, the characteristics of the soul. Many, many characteristics: eternal, individual, imperishable, immeasurable, many, many like this. And on contrast with the body, which is temporary, which gets destroyed, which is actually maintained by the soul, many like this. So on the basis of this Atma Jnana, self-knowledge, Krishna gave the motivation to fight. After this, very remarkably, Krishna gave a material reasoning for fighting. That is from the section that is the Karma Kanda, giving him a sense of duty for gaining material enjoyment. We saw this last time. Yes. After which he spoke of the third motivation to fight, which is Buddhi Yoga. So we have covered a few shlokas in Buddhi Yoga. Last time I did give a lot of introduction about it, explaining the yoga ladder. Any of you remember that ladder? What were the, at least the first few steps in the yoga ladder? Any of you remember?
Animal life.
Animal life. That's the default consciousness. Yes. After which?
Karma Kanda.
Karma Kanda. Yeah. So Karma Kanda, that is explained by Krishna before Buddhi Yoga, is the second step of the yoga ladder. After this, what comes?
Sakarma Karma Yoga.
Karma Yoga, in which there are two sections, Sakama and Nishkama. Both are actually together called as Buddhi Yoga. So Karma Yoga, Buddhi Yoga, and in fact Prabhupada equates it to Krishna consciousness. We will see them more today. So in that section, when we were studying, we saw some of the benefits of Buddhi Yoga in the first three shlokas. Can any of you recollect from those beginning shlokas, what are the benefits which Krishna assures about Buddhi Yoga? Yes.
After killing in the battlefield, you will get the heaven. Either you killed, or if you alive, then you will get the kingdom.
That is in the section before this.
Before
Karma Kanda. You're right. That was an argument which was given, reasoning which was given by Krishna before this.
Prabhuji, that if you do your activities in Krishna consciousness, you will not incur sin.
You will not incur sin. Yeah, that is one very important thing. Krishna told in 39th shloka. If you see, just see the shloka. You will free yourself from the bondage. Karma bandhana muktaha. That was the exact word. Karma bandham prahasyasi. Yes. Then further he gives another benefit, very important benefit. This is something you should try to remember, especially about Buddhi Yoga. The nature of Buddhi Yoga or Nishkama Karma Yoga and any yoga above this can be told as this. What is it? Any advancement a person makes from this stage onwards is never lost. Very, very important to know. In Karma Kanda, if a person, he did a lot of piety, punya karyas, gained a lot of pious merit, but because he could not complete it, he had to leave it unfinished. Then in the next life, that will not carry over much. In fact, last time I was telling about how material achievements, just as they end with the body. So that is one important nature we should understand about material accomplishments. So Krishna is telling here, Neha bhikramanashosti pratyavayo na vidyate. There is no loss, there is no decrease in whatever achievements one makes in this platform of Buddhi Yoga. Then he also assures that whatever progress one makes, it frees him, saves him from great danger. Right? What's the great danger which is explained here?
Animal life.
Loss of human form and falling into animal form, lower form. Yeah. So human form of life is very special because it gives us an opportunity to practice spiritual life. So that danger, Mahato Bhayat, one is saved from if one does Buddhi Yoga. Then from 41 onwards, Krishna started explaining the nature of Buddhi Yoga. So the 2 shlokas before, in fact, there are many more benefits which will come, but he just gave a prelude, before explaining what is it that you get from practicing this. Krishna explained a little about it. You will be freed from karma bondage. There will be no loss or diminution or decrease. And thirdly, it saves you from greatest danger, that is fall from human form. So from 41, he explains the nature of Buddhi Yoga. The nature of Buddhi Yoga, the first one is a very pinpointed focus based on knowledge. Vyavasayatmika buddhi. Krishna uses the word eka. Eka means one, single pointed focus. Others who don't have this knowledge, their intelligence is bahushakha. Can someone see the word meaning of bahushakha? Please.
Having various branches.
Shakha means branches, is it not? Bahu means many. So the intelligence is split into many branches. So in this world, if you want to attain anything worthwhile, you need to have focus, is it not? So the focus which a Buddhi Yogi has is based on knowledge, the proper Buddhi. Buddhi, the very item Buddhi in the Buddhi Yoga, shows that every action is performed on the platform of the knowledge. So what knowledge is this? See, one thing I would like to explain here as a generic point, which is very valid up till 6th chapter, in fact, the entire Gita also, is that when we studied Yoga Ladder, I did explain about this earlier, we see a gradual progress from Karma Kanda, Karma Yoga, then there is at one stage Jnana Yoga which comes, then Ashtanga, then Bhakti Yoga. So this is a gradual step. And a person who is progressing, he gains some advantages, he gains the realization, and then he progresses into the step above on that strength. And he progresses ahead like this. Traditionally, when explaining these yogas, the step-by-step process, one explains it in the level of realization of the practitioner. Okay. Another way to explain it is to see it from the top step, that is Bhakti Yoga step. So when one sees from Bhakti Yoga, he says, oh, this Karma Yoga, where a person has dutifulness, this is very much included in Bhakti Yoga. So, Karma Yoga is viewed as Bhakti Yoga when one sees from top. Is it clear, Hare Krishna? When we see the steps, from the practitioner's view, it is seen as a discrete step. But when one is seeing from the top view, from the stage of perfection, it is seen as something which is included in the ultimate step. Let me show you the yoga ladder which we saw. Yeah. Because Prabhupada will explain these yogas from the view of Bhakti Yoga. And there is also an explanation from the practitioner's view, which also we should understand. That's what I am trying to make a point here. So, when we say Karma Yoga, okay, what does this person know? Does he know Krishna? Not necessarily. Okay, but in the ultimate view, yes, Bhakti Yogi is already a Karma Yogi. In the ultimate view, if you see from someone seeing from the Bhakti Yoga standpoint, okay, but someone who is progressing gradually, he has not yet gained the mercy of devotees, the devotional credit, and he has not yet understood about the supremacy of Lord Krishna. So what he knows, he is only about dutiful nature. So in Buddhi Yoga, the knowledge which one has in a gradual progress is the knowledge of Atma, Atma Jnana. But we also see from the perfectionist, from the point of perfection, that a devotee who is practicing devotional service to Krishna, he already has the knowledge of Atma Jnana. So he is already a Karma Yogi. If he is practicing Bhakti Yoga properly, he is naturally a Karma Yogi. And Prabhupada will explain this again and again and again. When Prabhupada explains about Jnana Yoga, he tells Bhakti Yogi is already a Jnana Yogi. When Prabhupada explains Ashtanga Yoga or Dhyana Yoga, he will explain how Bhakti Yoga includes Dhyana Yoga and how Bhakta is already a yogi. Is this clear, Hare Krishna? Yeah?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So sometimes people have a strong objection about how Prabhupada is bringing Bhakti in shlokas where there is no mention of Bhakti. So some of the scholars who only know the words but not the intention of Krishna, they have objections like this. But Prabhupada knows the intention of Krishna in saying these yogas, because Krishna wants to ultimately bring one to the highest position of yoga ladder, that is Bhakti Yoga.
One
That's
person,
like he explains. Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
one person, Prabhu, very well read.
Yeah.
He was actually disagreeing that Bhakti Yoga is topmost. He's telling me Jnana Yoga is topmost. Your Prabhupada writes like this and you're believing. So I didn't argue, but he had a very strong objection to Prabhupada's.
Objectively, we can conclude, we can prove also how Bhakti is the topmost conclusion of Bhagavadgita. This you will realize this. In fact, there will be many shlokas which will be pointed to you in this course, by which you can discuss with such people. Of course, if he is not open to understand, that's a different question. So you will be equipped with such kind of knowledge in this course. That is surely there. But we are trying to understand those shlokas where there is no mention of Bhakti, but Prabhupada explains it in the light of Bhakti.
Yes.
So that's an important thing to understand. So Buddhi Yogi, who has the knowledge of Atma Jnana, he's very focused. What is truly eternal? What is temporary? What I should aim for in life? On the other side, a devotee who is serving Krishna, he is also focused. Vyavasayatmika buddhi. What is that focus for him? What is the point of focus for him?
Devotional service.
Devotional service. Okay. If you remember the purports discussion last time we did, there is one very specific aspect Prabhupada highlights. He uses the word resolute in purpose. Please see the purport or translation. And he says a devotee has to be single pointed focus or resolute in purpose in serving the instructions of spiritual master. This is the singular focus of a devotee. And that naturally has Atma Jnana, many other aspects. Is this clear? So for a devotee, what does Vyavasayatmika Buddhi mean? What does it mean?
Serving the spirit.
The singular focus in carrying out the instructions of spiritual master. Last time I did mention that this shloka is very special for the followers of Srila Prabhupada. Why?
For one purpose.
For one purpose, yes. Prabhupada, he was very specially inspired by this shloka.
Yes.
Very important. This shloka's commentary by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur inspired Srila Prabhupada very much. And that's, you can see in his life how he was so focused in following his spiritual master. Today is a very special day with respect to Srila Prabhupada. Any of you know?
Buddha Purnima.
He took sannyas. Srila Prabhupada took sannyas.
Srila Prabhupada took sannyas. Acceptance of sannyasa by Srila Prabhupada. In 1959, he took sannyas. And he took sannyas and only for fulfilling his Guru's order. Otherwise, he already was in the platform of sannyas right from the day he met him, how he wanted to always serve. Srila Prabhupada says, I only had one question to my Guru. You know what? If you have read Lilamrita, you can point this out. The question Srila Prabhupada said that I had this one question to my Guru is, yes, Varun Prabhu.
How can I serve you?
How can I serve you? There is a chapter in Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. How shall I serve you? Very important. Of course, one can always have a pariprashna. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. That should be there. It's very important. But the mood should be to follow. How shall I serve you? That's an important question which a guru, teachers should be asked by the disciple. Oh, yeah. So this shloka is important. I'm just pointing out the highlights from the last discussion. So after discussing about Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, the singular focus of a Buddhi yogi, Krishna describes the other type. Those who don't have singular focus, how will they conduct? What is their understanding, first of all, and what are their actions based on that understanding? Shloka number 42. So please repeat after me. Yamimam pushpitam vacham.
Yamimam pushpitam vacham.
Pravadanti avipashchitaha.
Pravadanti avipashchitaha.
Vedavarata partha.
Vedavarata partha.
Nanyadastiti vadina.
Nanyadastiti vadina.
Kamatmana svargapara.
Kamatmana svargapara.
Janma karma phalapradam.
Janma karma phalapradam.
Kriya vishesha bahulam.
Kriya
Vishesha
Bhogaishvarya gatim prati. So Krishna says, those people who are called as avipashchitaha, Avipaschitaha means small intelligence, Prabhupada translates. Poor knowledge. Men with poor knowledge are not much intelligent. What do? They follow Vedas. Very interesting. But they are less intelligent. Why? Because you see, Vedas are like a desire tree. Desire tree means you go near the tree and you desire whatever you desire, that is given by the tree. It's called as Kalpataru. Vaishnavas are also called Kalpataru, Vancha Kalpataru, in a different sense. But this Vedic knowledge, it can fulfill any kind of desire a jiva has. So these people who have desire of sense enjoyment, they find a lot of encouragement in Vedic texts, Vedic knowledge. So Srila Prabhupada describes this whole purport about what is the nature of the majority of Vedic knowledge. Those people who read Vedas with the desire for sense enjoyment, material enjoyment, who are called as Vedavada Rata. They claim to know Vedas, but they don't know the purpose of Vedas. What do they desire? In the shloka it is told, Svargapara. They desire heavenly enjoyment. They desire material enjoyment. And they are full of material desires. Kamatmanaha. So they are happy to take a next birth. They know that there is the soul is permanent and the body is temporary, but they desire enjoyment for the body in the next life. No matter even if I have to take repeated bodies, but I want bodily enjoyment. If this current body is not permanent, I want to desire a better body in the next life. I will enjoy it. Again, I will lose, no problem, but I will take another body which gives me more enjoyment. So like this, that person keeps trying for material enjoyment. And they do a lot of rituals, Kriya Vishesha Bahulam, and they desire material enjoyment and opulence. Bhoga Aishwarya Gatim Prati. Who is reading translation today? Please, the first part.
Can I read through?
Yeah, please.
Men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets, resultant good birth, power, and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this.
Their desire is what? What do they desire here? Heavenly planets, elevation to heavenly planet, good birth, good power, basically material comforts. And desiring such thing, what do they say about Vedas? Oh, Vedas teach this. This is the goal of life. This is the goal of Vedas. So you read Vedas, follow Vedas. For what purpose? Gaining material enjoyment. There is nothing more than this. Prabhupada describes the whole attitude of such a follower in this. Please read the highlighted part.
The Vedas, many sacrifices are recommended for elevation to the heavenly planets, especially the Jyotistoma sacrifices. In fact, it is stated that anyone desiring elevation to heavenly planets must perform these sacrifices, and men with a poor fund of knowledge think that this is the whole purpose of Vedic wisdom. It is very difficult for such inexperienced persons to be situated in the determined action of Krishna consciousness. As fools are attached to the flowers of poisonous trees without knowing the results of such attractions, unenlightened men are similarly attracted by such heavenly opulence and the sense enjoyment thereof.
There are some trees which bear very nice flowers, but the fragrance, sometimes even the fruit, is poisonous. Attracted by those flowers, one tastes those fruits or one smells those flowers, and he has a bad effect on him. So like that, Vedic knowledge, it has many type of varieties of knowledge, but majority of it, Prabhupada describes that it is full of 3 modes of nature. It will come in the next this thing. You can see it here. In the Vedas, many sacrifices are described. for the elevation to heavenly planets. So people who are attached to such enjoyment, they follow Vedas with this purpose, and they don't desire to read what is ultimately explained, what's the ultimate message of Vedas. They become blind to that part of the Vedas. And they say Vedas actually are teaching this only. What is that? Material enjoyment. So Prabhupada describes, quoting from many Karmakanda section about the Chatur Mas tapasya which people do, the Somarasa which they try to enjoy, the heavenly pleasures of wonderful gardens, bodily enjoyment, which is all material. Such kind of promises which are given in Vedas. You can see this actually even in other faiths, be it Christianity, be it Islam. It's there. Are you all aware? Anything about it? Yeah. So most, yeah, someone wants to say? Yeah. Yes, Mataji was saying. So most of the followers of religion, they follow only because religion promises better material enjoyment. You know, Vedas also give. In fact, much of the Vedic knowledge, the 4 Vedas in actual, they are describing this. In the next shloka, it becomes very, very clear. Krishna explains about the Vedic knowledge much more in this shloka. Bhogaishvarya prasaktanam
Bhogaishvarya
taya pahrita chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhi
buddhi
samadho na vidhiyate. One may wonder, why is Krishna telling about material enjoyment? What is so bad about it? One can pursue both, right? One can pursue spiritual advancement and also material enjoyment. What is wrong? What do any of you want to say about it?
in material enjoyment, we always seek for result,
Okay. So,
which is temporary. And in spirituality, we also seek a result which is permanent, that Krishna Prema or Krishna Bhakti.
can we not do both?
We can't do, Prabhuji, because we always keep aiming for the result and we'll be too attached to it, which is temporary.
Okay, becoming too attached to it. Okay, okay. Anyone else would like to? Thank you for that answer. Anyone else would like to point out?
Prabhuji, we can focus on only one thing. If we are desiring material things, then we can't go for the spiritual things.
Okay. So Mataji's answer is that one can only focus on one thing in his life. Okay. Anyone else would like to point out what is that which Krishna is so much against material enjoyment when he has to talk about Buddhi Yoga or spiritual life in general? Why does one doesn't want sense enjoyment? Why a spiritual practitioner is so much against sense enjoyment?
Prabhuji,
Yes.
Prabhuji, then you cannot focus on the higher purpose. You will always be on the lower aim of life of enjoyment and pleasure
You
seeking
cannot
and
focus.
material things.
Your answer is very, very close, which Krishna is saying in this shloka. Anyone else would want to add? Yeah, yeah. Okay. You see, Krishna says in this shloka, when a person becomes attached, prasakta, to bhoga. Bhoga means enjoyment. Aishwarya means facilities or opulence. So when a person becomes very attached to bhoga and aishwarya, what happens? Apahrita chetasam. Apahrita means, like you have this word apaharan. What does it mean?
It takes the consciousness.
Oh yeah.
Kidnap.
Apahrita chetasam.
Kidnapping.
Bewildered, you become
Kidnapping.
bewildered.
We become bewildered. We lose the good sense of ours, is it not? So apaharana means it becomes like kidnapping. It steals away. Kidnapped. The material desire steals one's good intelligence, literally to say. So vyavasayatmika buddhi samadhav na vidhiyate. Vyavasayatmika buddhi means focused intelligence will not stay in such a person. As one of you pointed out, yes, when a person indulges in sense enjoyment, the attachment to that enjoyment or happiness makes a person lose his good intelligence and lose ultimately his focus on spiritual goal of life. Read the translation.
The minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place.
Does not take place. The determination for devotional service does not take place. At this point, I want to ask all of you, you all have been reading Shastras for so many long years. Give me some examples of someone who, because of engaging in material life too much, he lost his determination, or he or she, anyone, decrease of determination was seen.
Bharat Maharaj.
Bharat Maharaj, okay. That's one lesson which is given. Externally, that's the one of the reason. Yeah. Any other?
Ajamil.
Ajamila. Oh, okay. He got some bhoga ishvara, is it? Okay. Yeah. But afterwards, after he had the fall, after which he lost his good intelligence. Yeah, that's true. Ajamila, like that. So many examples like that. Bilva Mangal Thakur. Any like this, you can say. So, on the same, in the same Shastras, we will also see some who had great opulence, but still they maintained good determination and good consciousness of devotional service.
Ambarish Maharaj.
Wow.
Parikshit Maharaj.
Ambarish Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj. Or very recently, you can also see Bhakti Vinod Thakur, who had the great social position. Very recently, his day of memory was there. Yeah.
Shri Krishna Patlal.
Yeah, yes, Krishna Chandra Prabhu, Prabhupada's many disciples.
Sri Krishna Prabhu?
Ambarish Prabhu. Yeah, yes.
Prabhuji, in the first scenario you mentioned where the one who fall down, right?
Yeah.
Vishwamitra comes under that category, Prabhu, or not?
Who? Kaun?
Vishwamitra.
Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra, he got the material powers. There was a slight tinge of pride. Surely pride was there. Actually, he was not at that time a devotee yet. So one can surely put him in that category. How a material opulence makes a person fall from his spiritual progress. So he was progressing. You can see his attempt to become a Brahmarshi. So many tapasyas he does, but he keeps falling. Is it not? For varieties of reasons. Once because of anger, another time because of anger, another time because of his arrogance or pride. Many like. So yeah, it could be, that also could be taken as an example. So I am making here a contrast. There are people who have shown a fall in spiritual position because of material desires or pursuance of material desires, material enjoyment. On the other side, there are people who had great material comforts, but still they could maintain their consciousness of devotional service and continue. So what is it that makes a person lose one's good intelligence? One may think. Can someone point out? It's there in the shloka, if you carefully see.
Attachment, bro.
Attachment to sense enjoyment. It's not just a material comfort which makes a person fall. What is it? Attachment to sense enjoyment. And in general, For conditioned souls in general, as soon as they get material facilities, comforts, they become attached to sense enjoyment. There is a famous saying in English which says, if you want to know a person's real character, you know what one should do? Give him material comforts. You know, that shows this. That's a famous saying. It goes. It's very general behavior of a conditioned soul. Like many times you will see people who are attached, like Drupada, who had promised to Drona, but when he became a king, he could not. He was attached. Is it not? Like this, there are many examples actually. So the attachment to material comforts, that makes one lose one's good intelligence. That's the point here. And a person cannot fix, which is called as samadhi, cannot fix his intelligence. So Prabhupada explains about samadhi. Samadhi means fixed mind. Mind means intelligence both here. So samadhi basically means when the mind is fixed in the knowledge of self. Samyak adhiyate asmin atmatatma yathatmyam. So it cannot happen in people who are absorbed in sense enjoyment. So when a spiritual practitioner is so cautious about material life, what is it that he's cautious about? To not develop attachments to sense enjoyment. In due course, because of one's past action, reaction, he may get a lot of comforts or he may not get comforts. But the point, the focus or the effort is not to become attached. You know, in this world, everyone is attached. You know, there is a famous saying, even a beggar is, any of you complete? Even a beggar is
attached to his own blanket or a bowl or
penny.
his bowl.
That's the famous British saying. Even a beggar is attached to his penny. Penny means a paisa. Yeah. So you cannot say that only rich are attached. No. Or poor are detached. No, not like that. The attachment is something related to consciousness. So one should be guarding against attachments. One need not become averse to material comforts. If that is something which has come on its own, you accept it, but don't become attached to it. Like Ambarish Maharaj, did he leave everything? Oh, I don't want this comforts. My Vyavasayatmika buddhi will get lost. So did he leave that? Or Parikshit Maharaj, or do you hear that? No. What is the highlight of such people is, in spite of having such comforts, they did not lose their focus on Krishna consciousness, which is very, very rare. You cannot imitate it. So what should we do when we are pursuing some career aspirations, some social aspirations, family aspirations, many things like that, which may not be directly devotional. So how do we see that? Yeah, we do it, but we should always have focus on devotional service. That's very, very important. So that's something we should always keep as our guiding principle. Is my time, is my energy, which actually shows one's priority. You know, how much time and energy one puts, that shows one's priority. You know, a person who is putting devotional service as priority, he sacrifices his most important time. Is it not? Early morning time, or whichever time, even if someone has a very shift jobs or whatever it is, but the important time, chanting Hare Krishna, reading some Shastra, hearing some spiritual knowledge, very important. So that thing should not be sacrificed. And in fact, as one progresses, one should make an effort to increase as much as possible. And that should be always done under guidance. Superior guidance is something we should always take in account here. But the principle is this, all time one should be very cautious to not develop attachments which will block our way in spiritual life.
Prabhuji?
Shastra doesn't say that one should leave one's social connections or family. No, that's not the point here. I hope all of you got the point. Yeah, someone has a question or comment?
Yes, Prabhuji. I want to ask the thoughts like the things should be this way, otherwise I can't stand it, or people should behave in a certain way that I like. These are also attachments only, right?
Yeah, on a very subtler level, there are attachments at the ego, attachments at the mind, attachments at the intelligence, attachments at the senses level, many levels they are. It's there. And most of the times we cannot even detect some gross attachments we can, but some of very subtler attachments, very difficult to detect. That's why there is a bhakti should be always conducted under a superior guidance. Okay, so that's an important point. So Krishna is emphasizing here that attachment to material enjoyment will make a person lose his determination to practice spiritual life. This is that danger this is that worry of a spiritualist, which he always fears. No, I don't want those. So after Krishna explains the contrast between Karma Kanda and Buddhi Yoga. Karma Kanda is telling about, the much of the part of Vedas is about Karma Kanda, which promises material enjoyment. And Buddhi Yoga, which knows the purpose of Vedic knowledge. Vedic knowledge is actually a very gradual progression. From animal life, it is taking one to the highest perfection of Krishna Prema. But it takes one, okay, you want material desires, follow Vedas. And as one follows, one will also come in association of devotees. One will also come across those statements which tell the ultimate purpose of Vedas. So by getting exposure and becoming familiar with such, he can ascend to the higher status of yoga ladder. This is the thought behind gradual progression of yoga. But one should not become attached to Karma Kanda only and sit there. Oh, no, this is what is the purpose of Vedas. There is nothing beyond it. All others are waste. He should not say that. See, if you noted very carefully, in the section before this Buddhi Yoga, Krishna told you follow Karma Kanda, right?
Yes.
He told Karma Kanda, you should follow. You want Swarga? Fight. He told. You fight, you will get Swarga even if you die. He told. Now he is condemning that Swarga. He is telling, what is this? This is of less intelligence. Is Krishna contradicting?
No, Prabhu.
What is this opposite statement mean? Yes, Prabhu, you want to explain?
Swarga is not
Swarga is not ultimate.
it's not the ultimate goal, Prabhu.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
I feel maybe he's taking on the ladder, bro. First he explained like he should. First he tried that Karma Yoga. Now he's giving the next level, bro.
Very nice. Correct. Once this example was given by my teacher long back when I was studying this. That consider this, that two students come to the teacher. Both have got marks now after their test in mathematics. Both have gotten 60 marks. First student, the teacher appreciates. Wow, very good. Hey, Rohan, in the last test you got 55. Today you got 60. Very nice. The second student, the teacher rebukes, chastises you. Ashish, why did you do this? how low you have become. He has also gotten same marks. Huh? Why did he do that? Any of you guess?
Because first person progress in his study, and the second person who always get the good marks getting low marks now.
That's the point. Huh? So when Krishna is telling 30, what's that Karma Kanda section? 31 to 36 or 37. Krishna is talking at this level, Karma Kanda. Compared to animal life, one should follow Shastras. Even for Swarga, you should. But in this section of Buddhi Yoga, Krishna is talking from here, from this blue box. Don't fall to Karma Kanda. You are higher. You got more than 60 last time. How you fell to 60 marks? Hey Ashish, this is bad of you. Come on. So that is the thrust behind. It's not a contradiction in statements of Krishna. Is this clear? Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
This difference we should note. Otherwise, one will say, "Oh, Krishna just said earlier, and now he's saying this." Okay. So let's go to shloka number 45. He tells a little more about Karma Kanda. Why Karma Kanda is not healthy for someone who is already progressed above Buddhi Yoga. See, one generic thing you can note in Shastras, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says this, what one should do and what one should not do is not the same for all people. I say it again. What one should do and what one should not do is not the same for all people. What does it mean? Someone who is at the stage of Buddhi Yoga, for him, what one should do? One should continue practicing Buddhi Yoga and progress higher. What one should not do? What one should not do when he has already gotten to Buddhi Yoga, that is Karma Yoga. What he should not do?
Karma Kanda.
Karma Kanda he should not do. Very right. For someone who is in Karma Kanda, what he should do the duties, even if it's material motivated. He should not do sinful activities which are against Shastra, that is animal. Is this clear?
Yes,
what one should do, what one should not do. In the Shastras, it's always dependent on the qualification of the practitioner. Okay, so ultimate instruction of the Shastra is, okay, one should remember Vishnu. One minute. So that's the generic instruction which is told, which is an ultimate instruction, but the instructions are always to be seen according to one's qualification. So just now we saw that example. So let us continue this part. Okay. So let's go to 45. So please open 45 number shloka. Traigunya Vishaya Veda. Traigunyo Bhavarjuna. Nirdvandvo Nitya Satvastho. Niryogakshema Atmavan. So Krishna is saying here, oh Arjuna, you are actually, he is saying from the platform of Buddhi Yoga. Do not act like a Karmakandi who follows Vedas for material enjoyment and who considers this itself is the purpose of Vedas. No, rise above such a understanding, because Vedas, they talk about three gunas. What are the three gunas? Sattva, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. They talk about elevation only in its three modes. They don't know to rise above those modes to Shuddha Sattva. So Krishna is telling, hey Arjuna, rise above such an understanding. Nirdvandvo, Nitya Sattvastho. Be situated in Nitya Sattva, which is pure goodness. Niryoga kshema atmava. Do not worry about material gain and loss. Become an atmavan. Become a true self-knowledge acquired person. Read the translation.
The Vedas deal mainly with the subject of the three modes of material nature. O Arjuna, become transcendental to these three modes, be free from all dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self.
So Prabhupada tells, this is a generic explanation about Vedic knowledge. Yes, read this, the Vedas.
Should I read, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
The Vedas deal mostly with fruitive activities to gradually elevate the general public from the field of sense gratification to a position on the transcendental plane. Arjuna, as a student and friend of Lord Krishna, is advised to raise himself to the transcendental position of Vedanta philosophy, where in the beginning there is Brahma Jignasa or questions on the supreme transcendence.
So much of the body of 4 Vedas, Rig, Yajur, Sama, Atharva Veda, they are karma kanda in majority. In fact, 99% or so. There is a section called Jnana Kanda, which is marked by Upanishads. You see here, Prabhupada says this. The activities or sense gratification, namely the Karma Kanda chapter. Karma Kanda chapter means here the majority of it. But there are other Vedic literature like Bhagavadgita, Mahabharata, Upanishads. Upanishads especially, they mark the beginning of Jnana Kanda. About Jnana Kanda is actually Upasana or Bhakti Yoga. So Prabhupada says one should actually refer to the Vedic knowledge in whole and understand the ultimate purpose of Vedas, which is to rise above these dualities of material experience. So one has to learn tolerance in the face of dualities, which Krishna has already spoken, and that is possible when one is fully Krishna conscious. So how is this possible? Krishna explains in a very important example in shloka number 46. Very interesting example. Yavanartha udapane
Yavanartha udapane
sarvatah samplutodake
sarvatah samplutodake
tavan sarveshu vedeshu
tavan sarveshu vedeshu
brahmanasya vijanata.
brahmanasya vijanata.
So udapana means water or water body. Sometimes it's also called like a well, So in traditionally, I've seen this in my village. There are different wells for different purposes. Traditionally, some wells have water which could be used for drinking. Some wells water you can only use for generic usage of washing clothes or some other purposes. So for different purposes, different wells are there. Which is a limited reservoir of water. So one is told use this water for only this purpose because it's good for this. Other water you use for other purpose. It is there. It's traditionally that's how water was reserved for purer activities. But something like a flowing water, like a river, it's told that river's water is fit for all types of usage. Be it for a temple's purpose, be it for washing clothes, be it for washing some animals. All type of purposes are served by flowing water. Why is this example coming here? Very interesting. So karma kanda or jnana kanda or different sections of Vedas, they are like small wells which have specific purpose. Karma kanda has a specific purpose. Jnana kanda has a specific purpose. But the ultimate purpose of Vedas, which is like the river, which is Krishna consciousness, it serves all the purposes. when one understands the ultimate purpose of Vedic knowledge and do not become attached to this small well, which is not the ultimate purpose. So then one can fulfill all one's purposes. Tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanataha. So one who knows truly Krishna consciousness, he can actually fulfill all one's purposes, which he wants from other parts of Vedas. That's the interesting, shloka example Krishna is giving here. Someone else would like to take up reading?
Yes, Prabhuji, I will do.
Read.
All purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purpose of Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. So
the important thing is know the purpose behind Vedas, behind following anything about Vedas. So that is purpose. Knowing that purpose is the buddhi aspect in Buddhi Yoga. Okay. So Prabhupada talks about the nature of this karma kanda again, and what is that purpose behind Vedic knowledge. Read the highlighted part, the rituals.
The rituals and sacrifices mentioned in the karma kanda division of the Vedic literature are meant to encourage gradual development of self-realization. And the purpose of self-realization is clearly stated in the 15th chapter of the Bhagavadgita, 15.15. The purpose of studying the Veda is to know Lord Krishna, the primeval cause of everything. So, self-realization means understanding Krishna and one's eternal relationship with him.
So, this is the purpose of studying Vedas. Krishna will say this. Vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedyo vedanta krit vedavit eva cha aham. In 15th chapter it will come, very famous shloka, where he says, I am the compiler, Vedanta Krit, Vedavit, I know the Vedas. And what is the goal of Vedaischa sarvai aham eva vedya. I am the goal of Vedas. Aham, he says that in the first person. No confusion, no interpretation here. Direct meaning. So the purpose of studying Vedas, following Shastras, in fact, following any ritual, is to know Krishna, remember Krishna. So one should know this. And knowing this, one can follow. One can follow. One is able to follow. It's not that one should not follow the rituals. That's not the point here. Follow the rituals, no problem. But understand the purpose. If something is coming in the way of understanding the purpose, then hold on to that purpose. Leave those rituals which come in the way of following that purpose. So Prabhupada says the ultimate purpose, the revival of Krishna consciousness, that's the ultimate perfection of Vedic knowledge. And how does one revive it? The ultimate method of reviving such Krishna consciousness is by chanting the holy names. Very striking way Prabhupada explains here. He quotes a shloka from Bhagavatam, which is spoken by Devahuti, where she says, a person who is chanting the holy name, even if he is born in a very low family, materially he is not very good, well situated, be it by birth, by knowledge, by beauty, so and so. But if he has gotten this attachment to chanting holy name, one should understand that he has risen above all that. He has in fact done all of them. Very few days before there was this, in fact yesterday only, disappearance of a very great devotee who was so known for chanting of the holy names. This great devotee was once challenged while saying, describing the glories of holy name. He said that the ultimate perfection or fruit of chanting the holy name is developing love for the God. love for Krishna, not getting liberation, or what to talk about getting some material rewards. That's not the ultimate result of chanting holy name. When a person in the audience was very attached to karma kanda, you see this stages, you can appreciate it better. When he was one who is attached to karma kanda, when he heard this, how could you say that liberation is lower? How could you say that liberation is something which is given as a byproduct of chanting holy name? No, this is wrong. You don't know Vedas properly. He argued. You all might be familiar about this. Hare Krishna. Who is this person? Who is the person who was argued against? Who was telling the holy name's glories?
Hiranyakashipu.
Hiranyakashipu? No, not Hiranyakashipu. Srila Haridas Thakur.
Yeah.
Srila Haridas Thakur, who is a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was once invited for speaking in a function actually, and he was given a great privilege. In fact, they told him to please speak about holy name, and he started describing about holy name from Shastras. And he's told this. What was that? That how chanting of the holy name's ultimate result is developing love for Krishna, not getting liberation, not getting material enjoyment. These are all not the true perfection or fruits of chanting holy name. When he told this, there was a person, I think his name was Gopala Chapala, I saw. I think he told, how dare you say that liberation is inferior? You don't know Shastras. First of all, you're born in a Mohammedan family. How dare you speak about Vedas? It's like a dog trying to take away Vishnu Prasada. You are a Chandala. You're born in such a low family and you're speaking about Vedas like a Shudra touches Vedas. This is wrong. I fire upon you. If this is true, that liberation is inferior, then let my nose fall away. And if what you have told is not true, then let your nose fall away by leprosy. He declared this, and all the people in that whole assembly, they started, what happened suddenly, my God? And they were all very afraid, how these two people who are so noble. Yeah. In fact, Haridas Thakur was not at all holding on to the argument. He just got up and went away. Hare Krishna, like that. What happened after this? Any of you know? Whose nose fell away?
The person who was arguing.
So all the people clearly got to know the conclusion of Vedas, in graphic sense. Is it not? So the point is, chanting of holy names or revival of Krishna consciousness is the ultimate purpose of Vedas. And those who are following Karma Kanda, they don't understand it. So Krishna is saying, Buddhi Yoga or Karma Yoga or devotional service is higher than Karma Kanda. Following that automatically fulfills the purpose of Karma Kanda. You don't need to worry about it. Just like a flowing water fulfills so many purposes, oh Arjuna. So he's highlighting here. Please read this. So one must be
intelligent enough to understand the purpose of Vedas without being attached to the rituals only, and must not desire to be elevated to the heavenly kingdoms for a better quality of sense gratification.
Yes. So one should not desire that sense gratification or elevation, material elevation. Continue. The best purpose.
The best purpose of Vedic culture is served, however, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, as recommended by Lord Chaitanya, the deliverer of all fallen souls.
See, this has to be highlighted. I'm showing it something which is very important in this purport. It is also part of your questions. The best purpose of Vedic culture is served by chanting the holy names. So Prabhupada also says below, in this age
of Kali, most of the population is foolish and not adequately educated to understand Vedanta philosophy. The best purpose of Vedanta philosophy is served by inoffensively chanting the holy name of the Lord. Vedanta is the last word in Vedic wisdom, and the author and knower of Vedanta philosophy is Lord Krishna. And the highest Vedantist is a great soul who takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord. This is the ultimate purpose of all Vedic
mysticism. So, in the Vedic knowledge, there is a progression. There are 6 darshanas, which say Nyaya, Vaisheshika, like this, Mimamsa, and the ultimate, the last word is Vedanta, Uttar Mimamsa. So, it's very difficult to understand what is there described. But even what is the perfection of Vedanta, the purpose of Vedanta is to inoffensively chant the holy names, as Prabhupada is describing, like a flowing river, which fulfills all the purpose, not like these small wells. Similarly, one should understand the purpose of Vedanta, that is inoffensively chanting the holy name, it fulfills all the purposes. And the ultimate fruit of it is to attain love, like that. So this is a very important analogy to remember. Now, after this, Krishna gives a very practical instruction. Very famous shloka of Gita, the 47th shloka of 2nd chapter. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhur ma te sango swakarmani. Any person who is little familiar with Gita will quote this shloka. Is it not? This shloka is so famous. Do you know Gita? This is the shloka, it says. As if there is no other shloka, or is there no other level of knowledge which Krishna has spoken. Very famous shloka. So, karmani eva adhikaraste. Adhikara means here right or qualification. Arjuna, know this buddhi yoga. The purpose of it is Atma Jnana or Krishna consciousness. So what one should do? Your right is to follow your duty. Karmani eva adhikara. You follow your duty. But ma phaleshu kadachana. Do not think that because of you are getting the result of your action. No, that's not the case. There are many factors involved in gaining the result of an activity. Krishna will explain this in the last chapter of Gita, that how there is the role of super soul, which is called Daiva, or even destiny. There are also other factors like senses, endeavor, enjoy doership mentality, many things like that. Around 5 factors of actions success. So don't think that you are the lone cause for the result of an action. No. What you should do? Your right is to perform your duty. That's the first. Second thing is, know that the result is not coming because of you alone. It's the second thing. Are, you are telling me do duty, and you are telling also that you're not giving me credit of getting the result. Then I will not do my duty at all. One may say, one naturally, right? What's there in it? You're telling me to do something and do not desire the result from it. What is the, ma phaleshu kadachana, ma karma phala heturbhur. You are not the cause of the result of the action. The third one. So one should not be, one should be doing duty. One should not be attached to the result of one's duty. And third thing, know that you are not the cause of the result of your duty. And fourth thing, do not be lazy. Do not say that I will not do my duty. No, Do not be attached to not doing the duty. Do your duty. The ultimate thing is in this shloka, do your duty. Don't give other excuse. Oh, I did not get good results, I will not do duty. No. Just see, I did so much, people did not give me credits. No. That's your duty. You should do your duty. Even if it's not very pleasurable for you, you should do your duty. The many times this word is coming in the shloka, karma, 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 is it not? That's the ultimate instruction in this shloka. Read the translation, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruit of actions. Never consider yourself the cause of the result of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty.
Very clearly, Prabhupada puts them separately also. The first thing is, you have a right to do your duty. Second thing is, you are not entitled. You are not to enjoy the fruits of your action, thinking that, wow, you should not be attached to the fruits. That's the thing. Third is, you are not the cause of the results. Don't think you are the one from whom the results are coming. And fourth thing is, don't be attached to not doing the duty, which naturally comes. So, Prabhupada describes about the duties. What is this duties? So much is explained. What type of actions does people do in this world? 3 types of actions people do. One is called prescribed duty. Second is capricious work. Capricious means something which is prohibited, something which is done as a desire of mind. Whimsical, they say. And inaction. Inaction means do not do anything. Just be idle. Not give any proper response, not take any responsibility. Neither positive nor negative. So 3 types of options are there in front of a jiva. What is that? What are the 3 options?
Prescribed duty,
Prescribed duty,
prohibited
activity,
activities, and inaction. Means
Inaction.
not taking any responsibility.
Do duty, sin, and inaction. Very, very clear. So, what one should do? One should actually do prescribed duty. Not capricious work or not inaction. One should do prescribed duty. So Prabhupada says here, read this, Mataji, the second part.
Yes, Prabhuji.
You are muted. You are muted.
Pardon, Prabhuji? Acha, okay, sorry, Prabhuji.
Yeah, you're muted.
Yeah.
Read the whole first paragraph. That's
okay. There are 3 considerations here. Prescribed duties, capricious work, and inaction. Prescribed duties are activities enjoined in terms of one's acquired modes of material nature. Capricious work means action without the sanction of authority, and inaction means not performing one's prescribed duties. The Lord advised that Arjun not be inactive, but that he perform his prescribed duty without being attached to the result. One who is attached to the result of his work is also the cause of action. Thus, he is the enjoyer or sufferer of the result of such actions.
This is a very important statement. Please think about this. One who is attached to the result is also the cause of action. Can someone explain it? At least your thoughts you can share. How is it that one who is attached to the results is also the cause of action?
While working only, he is thinking about the results, Prabhuji.
Very good. Yes. So
he will try to achieve that result by his actions.
So he will try, surely. So he becomes the cause of that action. So the point here, very good point Prabhu is telling. While doing his activity, he thinks about the results. And those results actually shadow his performance. he is not able to properly give his effort or endeavor because of too much attached to the result. Oh yeah, I will, score very good, or I will get a very good appraisal, and I will do this, I will invest here. This is the results shadowing that person. Or maybe I did not do this. I think I'll not be getting a good recommendation. I'll not get good perks, or I think I should not do, and that reflects in his actions. You can see that, is it not? It reflects in his performance of his regular duties. So a person who becomes attached to the results, he becomes the cause of the action. So when he performs the action, because of his attachment to the results, he is not able to give his best effort, which is a detached, dutiful spirit. Very interesting statement this is. You can think more about it. It's very, very interesting statement.
So, Prabhuji,
Yeah. Yes. Can't hear. Maybe.
Prabhuji, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm saying I would like to sum it up if I understood it right.
Okay.
That the person who's attached to the result becomes the cause of that activity. Is like if person is too attached to the result, whether he'll get 100% or may not get 100%, I'll keep thinking about it. And whatever the result is because of his attachment to the result.
Yes.
Okay.
So one should not be, actually, sometimes, you can also say it in different words. People say, be in present, do not worry about your future. That's what? It's nothing but this statement of Krishna. Do not be attached to the result is future. No. When you attach to the future so much, you cannot be in the present and give your best. In other words, if you have to speak about it, right?
Okay.
So the point is, not having an attachment to the result gives you the best working energy for acting. And that actually you can use it for the best purpose, that is Krishna consciousness. You can do it in the best consciousness. So like this one should understand about it. Okay. Okay. So Krishna speaks, okay, one should perform prescribed duties. That's very clear. One should not do capricious work, that is sin, or unauthorized work. One should not do inaction also. That's fine. So what does it prescribed duty mean? There are three varieties in it. One is called routine work, nitya karma, emergency work, apat karma, desired activities. This is called kamya karma. Actually, there are many more varieties. Prabhupada lists important of them. Routine means daily duties. Emergency, because of some time situations, place circumstance, there are certain change of one's duties. Okay, I usually don't do this because it's the need of the hour, or there is no other person to do. I do it. Is that not? That's called emergency. And desired activity is something I do it because I like to do. I have an attachment to do. That's desired activity. So what one should do? Prabhupada says ahead. Read this ahead. Desired activities after that.
Routine work performed as an obligation in terms of the spiritual injections without desire for results, in action in the mode of goodness. Work with results become the cause of bondage, therefore such work is not auspicious. Everyone has his propriety right in regard to prescribed duties, but should act without attachment to the result. Such disinterest obligatory duties doubtlessly led one to the path of liberation.
Liberation, very important. See, there are three types: routine, everyday doing daily duties; emergency, need of the hour or so; desired, something which I like to do. So what is the guiding principle? Okay, all three one may have to do. They're all prescribed. So the guiding principle is they all should be guided by Shastras, scriptural injunctions. And while doing them, one should not think he is the cause of the results. Very important. And one should not be attached to the result. Okay, you do your best and leave it. So such kind of a disinterest one should have. This is an attitude of a karma yogi. Disinterested, obligatory. Oh, disinterest means he will not do. Oh, no, no, no. He will do it as a matter of duty, obligation. He will do it. Okay. There are many such wonderful examples of karma yogi, actually. One of the great examples is Krishna himself. He will say this in the 3rd or 4th chapter. He shows this example, actually. Anyway, when it comes in the 4th chapter, I will explain more about Krishna's own life examples in this regard. So Arjuna is advised by Krishna. Please read this next. Arjuna was therefore
advised by the Lord to fight as a matter of duty without attachment to the result.
Yeah.
His not participation in the battle is another side of attachment. Such attachment never leads one to the path of salvation. Any attachment, positive or negative, is cause for bondage. Inaction is sinful. Therefore, fighting as a matter of duty was the only auspicious path of salvation for Arjuna.
So, one can very clearly see it here. Krishna's instruction is fight as a matter of duty. Don't be attached whether you will win, you will lose, what will happen to society, what will happen to such people. There was a reason in Arjuna's arguments. There was this about if I fight, the elders will be killed, then the society will fall down. You remember this? There was one reason like this, that the elders are killed, then what happens? Any of you remember? Very nice.
The generation will be spoiled. The women will not be saved.
They will be exploited.
Yes.
And there will be no.
And the Varna.
Yeah, Varna.
Varna Sanskar population will.
Yeah, Varna Sankar, who are uncultured, not having spiritual aspiration or samskara, such people, such population will come. Anything else?
And family tradition will not be maintained.
Family tradition won't be maintained, Correct. Very nice. So Arjuna had given such kind of reasoning there, is it not? Oh, if I fight, this all will happen. Now Krishna is telling, do not worry about the result. What will happen if I do this? What will happen if I don't do this? If this is your duty, do it with the best consciousness. What's the consciousness? The best conscious, one of the best consciousness is do not be attached to the result. Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. So that purpose which you are fearing will also be addressed if you do it in Krishna consciousness. That's Krishna's indirect instruction also. So that 4th reason is also partly addressed here. If you remember, out of the 5 reasons, the first reason Krishna addressed in this chapter. Correct? Where did he address? The first reason was bodily compassion. Where did he defeat this argument? In the very first few instructions.
In the Sankhya Yoga.
The Sankhya Yoga, very right. Very good. All are remembering well. Yes, and while explaining about Sankhya Yoga, the difference between body and soul, he defeated the argument of bodily compassion. Then he discussed about the next knowledge, that is Karma Kanda. By Karma Kanda, he defeated the second reason. What was the second reason?
Do your Swadharma. Do your Swadharma.
Second reason of Arjuna.
Loss of enjoyment.
You're right, Swadharma, that's right. But what's the reason of Arjuna?
Sense enjoyment.
Loss of enjoyment.
Oh yeah, loss of enjoyment.
Correct, fine. Loss of enjoyment. So the second argument also was defeated. Now third argument's refutal is going on. The third is fear of sin. And in this, Buddhi Yoga is addressing this. And here you will also find some traces of defeating the fourth argument. That's what I'm pointing out here. This is how our acharyas are explained. Okay. So now Arjuna is told about Buddhi Yoga, how one should perform the duty, but don't be attached to the result. And such kind of a mentality is called by Krishna as yoga. This is defined as yoga in Bhagavadgita. Yoga is not just breathing, moving one's bodily limbs, or following some lifestyle. That's also part of Vedas, yoga. But essentially, yoga means what Krishna says here. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya
Sangam Tyaktva Dhananjaya
siddhi asiddhayo samo bhutva
Siddhiya Asiddhyo Samabhutam
samatvam yoga uchyate.
Samatvam Yoga Uchyate.
Uchyate means this is what is called. So what is called as yoga is this. What is yoga? Samatvam. Please see the word to word meaning. Samatvam. What does it mean? Samatvam. Equanimity. Equanimity means to see equally, to receive equally. What is it that he wants to receive equally? Siddhi, asiddhi. Siddhi means success. Yeah. Asiddhi means failure. Happiness, sadness. Receive it equally. Such a equal-minded behavior is called yoga. Arjuna, Dhananjaya, you be in yoga. Yogastha kuru karmani. Do yoga, Arjuna. Follow yoga day. But in the sense of develop this equal-mindedness. This is called yoga by Bhagavadgita. Very essence of yoga. Someone else can take the reading. Thank you, Mataji. So far is that. Anyone else?
May I continue, Prabhuji?
Read the translation now.
Perform your duty equipoised, O Arjuna, abandoning all attachments to success or failure. Such equanimity is called yoga.
Yoga. Very nice. So, before we go to this purport, I want to share an interesting incident of Srila Prabhupada. So, once Srila Prabhupada was asked by one disciple, how can we stay equal-minded in life? Something like what's Krishna telling here. How can we equal-minded? Equal-minded means whatever happens, how can I stay equally? How can I develop determination? Basically. So Prabhupada, he spoke the answer with the help of an example. He told, just like when someone is riding on boat, then sometimes the high tide comes. The boat as if it goes up. Sometimes there is crust, trough crust, whatever, the boat goes down, So there is ups and downs, is it not? The important thing is the one who is sailing in the boat should ensure that the boat is navigating. It's going ahead. That's the important point. There will be ups and downs in life. Prabhupada, what he meant is there will be situations of duality. Success, failure, siddhi, asiddhi, Krishna is telling here. The important point is continue your activities to fulfill your purpose, the goal of life, which is Krishna consciousness. That means spiritual activities, spiritual efforts should be continued. despite material ups and downs. So Prabhupada told that's how you develop equal-mindedness. The devotee, actually, I think it's Shrutakirti Prabhu also. He remembers this. He really appreciated the example which Prabhupada gave of the boat because he also came from that background of boating. So the point here, which Krishna is saying is, be equipoised. This does not mean that one becomes indifferent. Oh, he doesn't feel sadness. He doesn't feel happy. That will be there because he is a person. He is conscious. But that doesn't mean it comes in the way of performing his duty. Abandon all attachment here. You see, the word used is attachment to success or failure. Do duties. Such a attitude is called yoga. Read the highlighted part.
Yoga means to concentrate the mind upon the Supreme by controlling the ever-disturbing senses. And who is the Supreme? The Supreme is the Lord.
Just a minute. Now, what is the connection between Krishna telling equal-mindedness and Prabhupada is telling about mind on Supreme? Any of you would like to explain this connection? Krishna is telling in translation in the shloka, be equal-minded in success or failure. And Prabhupada tells yoga means Supreme.
If we put our mind equally in our material things and focus on spiritual things only, then we can say that our mind is equalism.
Okay. Yeah. Anyone else? Thank you, Mother. That's very close. I was just looking for the connection. Yeah, you're right. Almost right. Yes.
That putting your mind on Krishna is actually what you call equanimity.
How? Because Krishna is telling about success and failure. Be equipoised.
Because in the previous shloka, he said, do not worry about the result. You just do your, if you surrender the result of your activities to Krishna, whether it is gain or loss, it is his.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. So, very nice. Both of you have pointed very nicely. Nowhere in the shloka, Krishna is telling about dedicating the results to Supreme or thinking about Supreme. But Prabhupada in the purport explains that this is possible when you fix your mind on Supreme. Such an equal-mindedness will come only when one has proper foundation or proper understanding or proper purpose of life, which is beyond this material duality. And that higher purpose is fixing on Supreme. Okay, so when you focus on something high, then these dualities do not bother you. That's the point, So to concentrate the mind on Supreme is the highest purpose. And when one has that highest purpose, which is beyond all material dualities, no matter what happens in his life materially, he will be equal-minded. You will see in Srimad Bhagavatam so many examples. Can someone give examples for this?
Prahlad Maharaj?
Prahlad Maharaj, very good example. Yes. Any more? Very good example, Prahlad. Yes.
Prabhuji, Prahlad Maharaj?
Yeah. Prahlad is very good example. That's what I meant. And any other example? Any other example?
Pandavas?
Pandavas, yeah, I was looking for that. Yes, Pandavas. Very interesting life to understand. They had so much ups and downs. In fact, so many downs only. Whole life they face so much reversals. But one very important thing one should see in the life of Pandavas is dutifulness. And what most of the people fail to see in Pandava's dutifulness is the platform, or the reason behind that dutifulness is they had fixed their mind on the Supreme. This is the reason they were able to face such reverses, such dualities, and still maintain their equal mindedness. In Srila Prabhupada's life also one can see this a lot. Srila Prabhupada, he told once, after he established so many temples, he told, I was tested twice. Once when there was nothing with me, and second when there was everything with me. Dualities, right? When there was nothing, means Prabhupada was trying to preach, there was no facility, there was no positive response, no encouragement, or not even acknowledgement of his efforts. In fact, so many were trying to destroy his efforts, when especially in India before establishing ISKCON. You can see that. And when Prabhupada established ISKCON, and this preaching really expanded so much was there. Prabhupada says, I came to your country with 40 rupees. Now every temple of my ISKCON, which I have established, spends crores of rupees every month. He very proudly says it. And he says, still I don't have any money with me. He's so detached. He says everything is Krishna. So the point is, such an detachment from results, you can see. It's very highlight of every pure devotee's life. Read the second part, gain or victory.
Gain or victory are Krishna's concern. Arjuna is simply advised to act according to the dictation of Krishna. The following of Krishna's dictation is real yoga, and this is practiced in the process called Krishna consciousness.
So, gain or victory is Krishna's concern, not mine. Very interesting. So now Krishna will take, of course, there is further explanation about how Arjuna should follow his duty of Kshatriya Dharma and follow the purpose of Kshatriya Dharma, which is part of Varnashrama, that is to satisfy Vishnu or Krishna. Know the purpose, Arjuna. Do not be just attached to the form or the ritual. At the end, Krishna is now telling that you should do this. What is that? Dure nahi avaram karma.
Dure nahi avaram karma.
Buddhi yoga dhananjaya.
Buddhi yoga dhananjaya.
Buddhau sharanam anvichha.
Buddhau sharanam anvichha.
Kripana palahetava.
Kripana palahetava.
Hey Dhananjaya, do keep the avaram karma. Avaram means, see the word to word meaning, avaram. Abominable means something very heinous, sinful, what should not be done, prohibited. Durena, keep it very far. Don't do it. Don't do prohibited activity, sinful activity. Then what I should do? Buddhi yoga dhananjaya. Follow buddhi yoga. Buddhau sharanam anvichha. Take shelter of your buddhi and follow your duties. Kripana palahetava. Don't be miser. Do not be attached to the result of your duties. Someone else can take up reading translation. Thank you, Mother. Yes.
No, I will read first.
Yes. O Dhananjaya.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Translation. O Dhananjaya, keep all abominable activities far distant by devotional service, and in that consciousness surrender unto the Lord. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers.
Misers. Miser means, in simple word, kanjus. He has a lot of wealth, but he doesn't know how to use the wealth. He uses it. He doesn't use for good purpose, or sometimes he squanders it. He wastes it. So it's a very interesting analogy. Prabhupada will explain that. Read the highlighted part. Buddhi Yoga means.
Yeah. Buddhi Yoga means a transcendental loving service to the Lord. Such devotional service is the right course of action for the living entity. Only misers desire to enjoy the fruit of their own work, just to be further entangled in material bondage. Except for work in Krishna consciousness, all activities are abominable because they continually bind the worker to the cycle of birth and death. One should therefore never desire to the cause of work. Everything should be done in Krishna consciousness for the satisfaction of Krishna.
So misers who can invest their conscious, they have human form of life. They should use it for the best purpose, that is Krishna consciousness. But being attached to the results of action, they follow something called karmi or karma kandi conception, and they desire to enjoy the fruits. So do not have that kind of attitude, Arjuna. Do not be a kripana or kanjus. So Krishna is telling, one should spend all energies working in Krishna consciousness. That will make one's life successful. Like misers, unfortunate persons do not employ their human energy in the service of the Lord. Yeah. See, even materially speaking also, attachment to results will not make one give his best performance. So it's a very proven fact that while doing one's duty, one should give his best. And what can allow the person to give his best? Not being attached to the results. That's the basic thing Krishna is again and again emphasizing here. And that could be done best when a person has a devotional purpose. I do this activity for pleasure of Krishna. Whether it is success, failure, I cannot have, I don't have that control. I just do it for the pleasure of Krishna. That's the devotional purpose of the working action. So now Krishna gives second definition of yoga. There was first definition of yoga, which was equanimity. Samatvam yoga uchyate. It came 2 shlokas before. Now here he says the second definition of yoga, which is very related. You need not say it second, but another way to explain yoga. Buddhi yukto jahatiha. Ubhe sukruta dushkrute.
Ubhe sukrata duskrute.
Tasmad yogaya yujyasva.
Tasmat yogaya
Yujyasva.
Yoga karmasu kaushalam.
yoga
Karmasu
karmasu
kaushalam.
kausalam.
Hey Arjuna, you should take shelter of Buddhi Yoga, engage your Buddhi and do the duties. Do not worry about Sukruti, Dushkruti, whether I will get good result, bad result. Do not worry about it. All good, bad results are destroyed by following work in knowledge. Buddhi Yoga literally means working in knowledge. That's the literal meaning of it. So you follow yoga. Yoga, what does yoga mean? Karmasu kaushalam, the real art of work. How one should do work in this world, that is yoga. That is detachment from results, having equal mindedness. That is the real yoga, which is art of work. Read the translation, Prabhu. A man.
Sorry, Prabhu, I am speaking mute. A man engaged in devotional service rids himself of both good and bad reactions even in this life. Therefore, strive for yoga, which is the art of all work.
So the yoga, the second definition or another way to explain yoga is art of all work. Earlier it was explained equal mindedness, equanimity. Now here yoga means what? What does yoga mean here?
Art of all work.
Art of all.
Yoga karmasu kaushalam. So that way one can perform his activity, the duty, in the best way. That's the real art of doing the work. Very interesting way to put it. So Krishna says, by doing such kind of such attitude, having such attitude behind one's duty is very promising. You know what results it gives? It's something which is beyond this world. Karmajam buddhi yuktahi
Karmajam buddhiyuktahi
balam tyaktva manishina
Phalam
tyaktva
Manishina
janma bandha vinirmukta
Janma Bandha
Nirmukta
padam gacchantyanāmayam.
padam gacchantyanāmayam.
Arjuna, by following in that way the duties, one will be janma bandha vinirmukta. He will be freed from the bondage of this world, birth and death, and he will padam gacchanti anamayam. He will go to the world beyond this material world, spiritual world. Read the translation, Prabhu.
Yeah. By thus engaging in devotional service to the Lord, great sages or devotees free themselves from the results of work in the material world. In this way, they become free from the cycle of birth and death and attain the state beyond all miseries by going back to Godhead.
So the benefit or the result which is assured here is freedom from birth and death and attaining beyond this world, that is going back to Godhead. Prabhupada highlights some interesting point. He quotes a shloka from Bhagavatam which tells about the result of performing devotional service as taking one beyond this dangerous material world, and he explains it further. Read this highlighted part. Owing to ignorance.
Owing to ignorance, one does not know that this material world is a miserable place where there are dangers at every step. Out of ignorance only, less intelligent persons try to adjust to the situation by fruitive activities, thinking that the resultant actions will make them happy. They do not know that no kind of material body anywhere within the universe can give the life without miseries. The miseries of life, namely birth, death, old age, and disease, are present everywhere within the material world. But one who understands his real constitutional position as the eternal servitor of the Lord, and thus knows the position of the personality of Godhead, engage himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Consequently, he becomes qualified to enter into the Vaikuntha planets, where there is neither material, miserable life, nor the influence of time and death.
So there is no situation in this 14 planetary system where can one be free from birth, death, old age, and disease. Anamayam. Amaya means actually disease. Anamayam. So one cannot be freed from these 4 problems of life in any way than surrendering to Mukunda. That's the shloka. Samashritaye padapallavam murare, that's the word which is used. So when one engages in karma yoga, in buddhi yoga, in the spirit of devotional service, which Prabhupada is explaining here, it promises one spiritual world. It promises one back to Godhead. Vaikuntha Loka, Prabhupada says, service for the cause of serving Supreme Lord is called karma yoga or buddhi yoga, or in plain words, devotional service. You see this last line of the purport, Prabhupada highlights. He equates all of them together. So, such is the benefit of buddhi yoga. Do not fall into such superficial following of Vedas, which is just following the rituals, not knowing the purpose. Such kind of following is very bewildering because you will be confused. Sometimes Vedas give instructions to do this. At another place, Vedas will tell to do something else. So one will be confused by such a kind of instruction if one doesn't know the ultimate purpose of Vedas. So such Vedic knowledge sometimes compared to a dense forest wherein a person doesn't know how to come out of it. So be aware. Do not fall into this trap of purposeless following of Vedas. Yadate moha kalilam.
Yadati moha kalilam.
Buddhir vyatitarishyati.
Buddhir vyatirishyati.
Tada gantasi nirvedam.
Sarvadantasi nirvedam
Shrotavyasya shrutasya cha.
Shrotavyasya Shrutavyasya cha.
This Vedic knowledge, which is compared to Moha Kalilam. Please read the word to word meaning. Moha Kalilam.
Moha is illusion. Kalilam is dense forest.
Dense forest. A forest, it's like a forest which puts one in illusion. It's so confusing. Everywhere are dense trees, thickly grown trees, and it's no clue of how to get out of this forest. So like that, Vedic knowledge is sometimes very confusing. What one should do, what one should not do, how one can I gain elevation in consciousness. It's very difficult. So rise above this by proper understanding of the purpose. Read the translation, Prabhu.
Yeah. When your intelligence has passed out the dense forest of delusion, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and all that is to be heard.
When you understand, when your intelligence rises above such superficial following and it knows the purpose of Vedas, then you will become indifferent to these rituals. Prabhupada explains about ritual versus purpose in the purport. Read this. When a person
factually understands Krishna and his relationship with Krishna, he naturally becomes completely indifferent to the rituals of fruitive activities, even though an experienced Brahmana.
So a great devotee, he that's his natural way of functioning. That is, he follows Shastra, which is Krishna's word. There are rituals that he performs which are in Shastras, but he always is very, very interested to see that the purpose of Shastra, which is to please Krishna, is done or not. If something, some ritual is coming in the way, which is not helping him much remember Krishna, because he has risen above those rituals, then he may sometime omit it. He may become indifferent to it. Like this famous shloka quoted here by Prabhupada, which is a shloka of Madhavendra Puri, where he says, please excuse me, I cannot do Sandhya Vandan. Please excuse me, O Pitrus, I cannot offer you my respects. Right now, soon Pitru Paksha is coming. I think from tomorrow, if I'm not wrong. Please forgive me, I am not able to offer Tarpana. Please forgive me, I cannot do this, this ritual, that ritual, because my mind is attached to this Yadava, the Kulottama, that is Lord Krishna. I'm again and again able to remember him, and it's my faith that just by remembering him, all the sins, everything will be dispelled. This is sufficient for me. This does not mean that he will not do Sandhya Vandan also. What it means is that he considers the purpose of Vedas, that is to remember Krishna, as the supreme. Read this part highlighted, Prabhu.
Yeah, the Vedic rites and rituals are imperative for non-neophytes. Comprehending all kinds of prayers 3 times a day, taking a bath early in the morning, offering respects to the forefathers, etc. But when one is fully in Krishna consciousness and is engaged in his transcendental loving service, one becomes indifferent to all these regulative principles because he has already attained perfection.
Attained perfection. So this is a very high state. So for sadhakas, they follow Shastra, especially what is told by acharyas, like get up early in the morning, offer arati to the deities, chant holy names, read Shastra, serve devotees, serve deities, follow one's duty. This is the acharyas' instruction for us. We do it. So there is no, leaving them or becoming indifferent to them, or no, that's not the point here. But following Vedic rituals, which are not directly devotional in their performance. So one should always consider whether it is favoring one's devotional service, whether it is spoken by Acharya to follow or not, like that. So that's the highlight here. So Prabhupada also says persons in Krishna consciousness transcend the range of Vedas and Upanishads, the Shabda Brahma. So concluding his instruction on Buddhi Yoga, Krishna says, Shruti Vipratipannate Yada Sthasyati Nischala Samadha Vachala Buddhis Tada Yogam Avapsyasi.
Tada
Yogam avapsasi.
Read the translation, Prabhu.
When your mind is no longer disturbed by the flowery language of the Vedas, and when it remains fixed in the transcendent trance of self-realization, then you will have attained in the divine consciousness.
So, Arjuna, do not be distracted by the flowery language, very attractive promises of Vedas, which are a performance of rituals, which are actually promising material enjoyment. Rise above them, know the true ultimate purpose of Vedas, and take shelter of the knowledge, buddhi, do the duties. And you will be promised results beyond this world. Then you can attain what is called samadhi. There is a word in this shloka called samadhat achala buddhi. You will attain samadhi like that. By performance of your duty in proper knowledge, you will attain samadhi. Not by leaving your duty, going to forest and sitting in meditation. No, that will not give you samadhi because your heart is not purified. Performance of duty is in knowledge purifies the heart. Very important. Without purification, one tries to do samadhi. Mind is not pure. It will not allow one to fix one's consciousness on Supreme. So there is necessity of duty. At the same time, no attachment to results. That will purify one. Offer the results to Krishna. That's the best way you can be detached from the results. So like this, Krishna has concluded his instruction on Buddhi Yoga, and now Arjuna gets a question. I would like to take a few more minutes because there is something which we are lagging. Maybe a few more shlokas. Kindly pardon for that. So Arjuna gets a question here. Okay. He got a question about, Krishna, you told something about samadhi. This is curious for me because I'm interested in samadhi. Can you tell me about samadhi more? Arjuna uvacha sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava
Samadhistasya keshava
sthitadhi kim prabhasheta
Sthitadhi kim prabhasheta
Kimasita vrajeta kim.
Kimasita vrajeta kim.
Before I go to this, I want to show some summary of Buddhi Yoga. Prabhu, are you able to see the slide?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Yeah, okay. These are some of the highlights of Buddhi Yoga we have seen. Actually, the Buddhi Yoga flows up till the end of this chapter. But now there is a question by Arjuna in which Krishna elaborates Buddhi Yoga differently. So most of it we have covered. Can you read this?
Yeah. Freedom from characteristics and benefits of Buddhi Yoga. Freedom from bondage of work, 2.39. Second one is no loss or diminution on this path. And third, saves one from the greatest danger. Fourth one is resolute determination. Fifth one is freedom from good and bad reactions. Sixth, freedom from cycle of birth and death. Seventh one is indifferent to Vedic rituals. Eighth is realization of relationship with Krishna as eternal servitor, Samadhi. Ninth one is goes back to Godhead.
This last one, which comes in the last shloka, it has come a little in 52 also. Padam gachanti anamayam. But it describes the whole Buddhi Yoga's main characteristics. That's so after hearing Buddhi Yoga, especially the last one, 53, where Krishna told one will attain samadhi, then Arjuna got a question. He is very interested in samadhi, looks like, and he asks the question, what is that? You just see this word samadhi. The same word is coming. Arjuna is asking, Arjuna, samadhi? Oh, wait. Can you tell me what are the symptoms of a person in samadhi? Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha. Ka bhasha. Please tell me some symptoms. Tell me, kim prabhasheta. How does a person in samadhi speak? Prabhasheta. Is that word to word meaning same? Prabhasheta. What does it mean? prabhasheta. See this? Hare Krishna.
Prabhasveta means Prabhuji speak.
Speak, na? Okay. Then there are 4 questions in this. Then Kim Asita. Asita means? Any of you?
Kim means how, and
Asita.
Sita matlab remains. Does remain.
Or sit, you know. How does he sit? Like, yeah, does remain still. Like this word is there, asana, you know. Asana means sitting, sitting place, right? Asana. Asita. Asita means to sit. How does he sit? Vrajeta. Vrajeta means to walk. That's how one word to word meaning here. Yeah, Vrajeta. So interesting questions. What are the symptoms of a person in samadhi? How does he speak? How does he sit? How does he walk? Arey, what is this? You know, sitting, walking, speaking. Symptoms we can understand. What is this sitting, walking, speaking? Is he having some different bodily limbs? Is he not a two-legged, two-handed person? Now he gets some different bodily limbs also. He speaks differently, or he sits differently, or what, like that? What does it mean? So read the translation, Prabhu. Arjuna said.
Arjuna said, "O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak, and what is his language? How does he sit, and how does he walk?"
Walk. So there are these 4 questions, very interesting to know them properly. The 4 questions of Arjuna. First one is symptoms. Then how he speaks, how he sits, how he walks. Okay. And he means here general. It could be she also. There is nothing about gender here. It's a generic way to say this. So how does a person in samadhi, that is full Krishna consciousness, how do we know him? What are his symptoms? And speak, sit, and walk. Now, what is the speaking, sitting, walking? Our acharyas explain a little more on this. Ka bhasha, that's the word, no? Ka bhasha. Bhasa, sa likha hai, but yes, H is there in actual Sanskrit. What does it mean? It means symptoms. What are the symptoms, Krishna? Kim prabhasheta. Literally, it means how does one speak? Krishna, how does a person in samadhi speak? What actually it means is when something happens in life, usually people speak out, right? When people speak, they are actually speaking as a response, right? So how does the person in samadhi respond, especially in this world? That's the second question. Can someone read? Prabhu, can you read the third one here? Kim Asita.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Team. Arjuna asked for 4 questions.
This Kim
okay.
Asita.
Kim Asita. How does one sit? And the actual question is, how does one not act in this world?
One sitting means he's not acting. He's sitting. He doesn't act in this world. Sitting means not doing anything. So how does one desist or doesn't act in this world? What does he not do? Now, 4th question, read it.
Kim Rajeta, how does one walk? How does one act in this world?
Vrajeta means doing activities, walking, running, hand moving, everything. That means what he acts in this. What does he do? What does he not do? That was the earlier question. What does one not do? What does he do? That's the 4th question. You see, there is so much of implied meanings here. What are symptoms? How does one respond? How does one not act? How does one act in this world? Very interesting to understand these meanings behind. Very implied in the culture, sitting, walking, speaking, but it has a very deep meaning. Prabhupada explains, everyone in this world is known by symptoms. A rich man has symptoms. A diseased man has symptoms. A healthy man has symptoms. So symptoms are there even for a person in spiritual progress. So what are the important symptoms? Many symptoms. Prabhupada highlights one important symptom. Read the highlighted part, Prabhu. Most important.
Yeah, most important is how the man in Krishna consciousness speaks. For speech is the most important quality of any man.
Yeah.
It is said that a fool is undiscovered as long as he does not speak, and certainly a well-dressed fool cannot be identified unless he speaks. But as soon as he speaks, he reveals himself at once. The immediate symptom of Krishna conscious man is that he speaks only of Krishna and of matters relating to him.
So the symptom Prabhupada explains is speech. If we want to know how a person's thinking or consciousness is, we should observe his speech. Like we say, face is the index of mind, no? Sometimes that verb is, that saying is there. But actually, it is the speech which is the index of one's consciousness. Sometimes face may be ugly, but that doesn't mean his mind or his thinking is bad or something. What actually should be observed is how does he speak? What is he thinking about? If you want to know the thoughts, see his speech. There is a famous saying, a fool is undiscovered as long as he does not speak. As soon as one speaks, oh, how much knowledge he has or how much knowledge he doesn't have, both are known as soon as one starts speaking. That's why people hesitate to speak. There is a fear of speaking, right? What do they call? Stage fear or something. Oh, no, I don't want to speak. They are fearful. Oh, I will be revealed. I don't want to be revealed, they say. So, Prabhupada says an immediate symptom of a Krishna conscious man is that he speaks only of Krishna. Man or woman, both. Krishna conscious person is that he speaks only of Krishna. He is always thinking about Krishna. That's what comes out naturally from his mouth. So, Bhagavan, Krishna, understands what is it that Arjuna wants to know, and he explains from the next shloka. We will take this last shloka for today and end with this. Text 55. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prajahati Yada Kaman
Prajahati yada kama
Sarvan Parthamano
Sarvan Parthamano
Atmanyevatmana Tushta
Atmaneva Atmana Tushta
Sthita Prajnasadochyate.
Prajnasya tadochyate.
Addressing the first question of Arjuna. What's the first question?
What are the symptoms of the samadhi?
Samadhi or a Krishna consciousness, in general. What are the symptoms of a person in samadhi or Krishna consciousness? The first question is addressed in this shloka 55. Prajahati yada kaman. Jahati, prajahati means to take away, throw away, or leave it aside. Yada kaman. So, if you carefully see, kaman means here desire. That's the general meaning of kaman. Lust is one specific meaning. Kama means desire. Any type of desire. So, kaman manogatan prajahati. That desire which is born of mind. There are desires which are stemming from soul, which are called spiritual desires. They are not talked about here. But what's talked about here is desire born of
mind.
Manogatan. That word, please note. Manogatan kama. The desire born of mind, give up. Such people, hey Partha, in Samadhi, they give up the desires born of mind. And what do they do? What is their mind absorbed in? What are they absorbed in? They are absorbed in themselves. They are self-satisfied. Atmani eva atmana tushtaha. Their consciousness is satisfied. Their mind is satisfied in themselves. Such a person is called Sthita Prajna. Sthita Prajna means a person in Samadhi. Sthita prajna. The whole section which is here is called sthita prajna. The last section of this chapter, 55 up till the last shloka, 72. Sthita prajna. So Krishna is describing the symptom of sthita prajna here. What is the symptom? What is the symptom? Any of you?
That stop the desire born from mind.
And
mind, their mind is set in their self only.
Self-satisfied. Read the translation, please.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, which arise from mental condition, and when his
mental
mind
concoction, Prabhu. Read that.
sorry, mental concoction, and when his mind thus purified finds satisfaction in the self and the self alone, then he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness.
Mental concoction. You know, there is this famous story, very funny story, but there is a lot of lesson in this. There was one beggar who used to daily go and beg something. Once he used to usually get some dal or some atta or something like that. And from last few days, he had been getting atta, which he had put in one matka, one pot, and it kept it hanging above him. And today also he got a lot of atta. He got, and he stored it. Wow, I'm getting really good amount of atta, the flour, some wheat flour or whatever. Very nice. And he fell a little asleep and he started dreaming. Any of you know this story? Please complete it if you know.
No problem.
No, oh, really? So he started dreaming. Wow, I have so much of atta today. Tomorrow I will get more, and I will, in fact, sell it off, and I get a little milk. And after getting milk, and tomorrow I will get some more atta, and like this I'll get some more, and I will sell, and I will start increasing my possessions, and slowly I will get some sheep, and I'll procure sheep, I'll rear sheep, and by that I will get a lot of wool and things like that, and slowly I will sell that wool, and I will get a cow, and I will get cow, and I will maintain the cow, and I will get a lot of milk from it, and by selling that milk, and I will make a lot of money. I'll buy more and more cows. I will have big goshala. Where is this happening? All this?
In his dream, Prabhu.
In his dream. Very important. So all this he's thinking, and then he got a lot of cows. It's a big goshala, and now I became so wealthy, and I get a very good lady for my maintaining my wealth, and for expanding my family, and she will be the most beautiful, most desired by many, and she comes to me liking me, my wealth, and then we marry, and then we have very nice family. We have a child now, and the child is so cute, and I am taking care of many cows. I have become a landlord now. Where is he lying?
On the street.
On the street, yeah. So he has become a landlord now, and he's thinking like this. And that day, that small baby, it came to me, troubling me when I was doing this smoking, and it troubled me, and then I rebuked my wife, and she threw something on me. What is that? And then I waved my hand like this, and he waved his hand actually coming out of the dream, and guess what? The pot which was there, it broke, and whatever atta was there, it fell on him. Whatever little atta he had gained, gathered, it fell on him. Interesting story. What is there for us related to this shloka?
Prabhuji, sometimes happen this thing with us also now. We do the daydreaming.
Daydreaming. I was about to use that word, but anyway, you have used it. Daydreaming. Yeah. So please tell what is the connection with the shloka? Yeah, we all do it. Let's be honest about it. So what is the connection here? There is a word which actually shows that connection. Mental concoction.
Manogatan.
Manogatan, yes. So the desires born of mind, they take a person so far from reality. And he in that not real world, unreal world, he forgets his actual connection with the Supreme Lord, and he always remains dissatisfied. Arjuna, hey Partha, leave these desires which are born of mind. Understand, they are not true. They are not beneficial. Don't dream. This is an important quality of a samadhi person. He doesn't he doesn't dream means why? That doesn't mean he doesn't sleep. He sleeps well. The point is, he is not having such desires. He's satisfied in the self. So Prabhupada, in the purport, he highlights certain things. Can you read this, Prabhu? One has to.
Yeah, one has to give up all kinds of sense desire manufactured by mental concoction. Artificially, such sense desires cannot be stopped. But if one is engaged in Krishna consciousness, then automatically sense desires subside without extraneous efforts. Therefore, one has to engage himself in Krishna consciousness without hesitation, for this devotional service will instantly help one onto the platform of transcendental consciousness.
Just see this so wonderfully. Prabhupada is explaining from the standpoint of Bhakti Yoga, telling that such a desires born of mind can be stopped when one takes to Krishna consciousness very easily. Artificially, if one tries to stop, okay, sometimes he can, but sometimes he'll be carried away. Like one gave the example, devotee just now, about Vishwamitra, who was carried away by mind actually. So artificially, one cannot control one's mind. Actually, the shloka is telling one's control over mind. A person in samadhi has control over one's mind. This theme will actually go to the next chapter also, mind. In fact, 6th chapter, many places Krishna will bring in this. So the first answer by Krishna, which is addressing the first question of Arjuna. What's the first question?
What are the symptoms of samadhi? Of
Krishna consciousness. Samadhi, Krishna consciousness. And what's the answer Krishna has given? Prabhupada has explained. Yeah.
One should stop the desiring born from the mind. Means one should control their mind.
One should control one's mind. One
and
should
second
control
one,
one's mind. Yeah.
That means they should be self-sufficient or self-concentrated kind of.
Self-satisfied.
Self-satisfied.
Atmani eva atmana tushtaha. See this word, tushtaha. That word has come in the shloka. So very nice. So this shloka tells that the symptom of a samadhistasya, sthita prajna, very important symptom is he has control over his mind. Okay. So we will further explore on this. In fact, there are very nice principles coming. I would like to tell one last thing before we end. The section which is we are going to discuss now is a very important section even for your exam, because in your assessments there is what is called as open book assessment, OBA. Yeah? In that, this section is highlighted. Prabhu, can you read this? The question on the screen.
Yeah, explain in your own words the process of sense control by Krishna consciousness with references to verse, purports, analogies, and examples from Bhagavadgita 2.54 to 68 and 3.4 to 8. How is this relevant for Arjuna's situation on this battlefield of Kurukshetra? Your own practice of Krishna consciousness. Personal
application. This is the question in your open book assessment. I will highlight the principles, some process of sense control, mark them. It will be in one sense a preparation of your assessment writing. You can even write the essay at the end of this chapter. Okay, so we did discuss today. What did we do today as a revision? Let's see. So the first we saw the Buddhi Yoga introduction, and then we saw some more important features of Buddhi Yoga, how one should know the purpose of Vedas. One should not follow just superficially, not knowing the purpose, only rituals. No, that's not the. And what's the blocks or impediments of a person in Buddhi Yoga? That is Bhoga Aishwarya Prasakta, attachment to enjoyment, material comforts. And Krishna told that's why one's resolute determination will not make such person. And later, we also saw the the section of the real benefits of Buddhi Yoga. We saw so many features. And after Krishna explained about Samadhi, the word Samadhi, Arjuna got a question, the 4 questions: symptoms, speech, what one doesn't do, what one does, or how one sits and how one walks. And Krishna started answering. The first answer he gave is about the symptom of a person in Samadhi, that is mind control over one's mind. So we will see the further answers by Krishna in the next session. Thank you very much for your time. We will continue next Friday, 6:30 p.m. Thank you. I think all of you have gotten already a message about the shloka test in 2 parts. So we are already practiced 4 shlokas. 2 more shlokas in the next chapter beginning only I will show, and then we will practice. I will declare the dates of those, the first part of shloka test within 1 or 2 days to Dasrash Prabhu. We will share it in the group. Okay, you can even give the names, first come, first serve. You can give the names and book your slots. Okay, we will conclude for here today.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.